Hello students, I am Dr. Akanksha Srivastav and I am Associate Professor in Department of Business Administration at Lal Bahadur Shastri Group of Institutions, Lucknow. In today's class, I will continue the Payment of Bonus Act 1965. So, let's start with this. In today's class, what I will discuss the concept of set on and set off. What is set on, what is set off, and what are the conditions where a company faces a situation of set on or a company faces a situation of set off. Then we will discuss about the productivity bonus. If you remember, in last class I have told you there are two bases for bonus. One base is your profitability bonus that I have already discussed in the last class, and today I will discuss about this productivity bonus. Okay. Then we will discuss certain deductions from bonus. There are certain deductions which an employee can make from the statutory bonus and it is permissible by the law. So, what are these deductions? We will discuss that. Then what is the time limit and mode of payment, in which time bonus must be paid, that I will tell you, and what is the mode of payment, in which form bonus should be paid, that I will discuss. Then there are certain exempted establishment. Exempted establishment means what? There are certain establishment where this act, the Payment of Bonus Act 1965 is not applicable. Why? Because in these establishment there are certain other laws having some kind of same benefits. Those laws are applicable there. That is why this act, the Payment of Bonus Act, is not applicable in these establishments. So, what are these establishments? We will see them. And in the last, we will discuss about the maintenance of registers. Under this act, the employer is responsible to maintain certain register. He need to keep record on certain things. So, what are these registers? We will talk about them. So, let us start with the today's class. Right. Yes, you have already seen this table in the last class where I have talked about three things: allocable surplus, minimum bonus and maximum bonus. Right. If you remember what was minimum bonus and what was maximum bonus, minimum bonus was in the case of minimum bonus, there was a condition. We have to check the age of the employee. If an employee is under 15 year, in that case minimum bonus was 8.33% of the salary and wage, or rupees 60, whichever is higher, right. If the employee is 15 year or above 15 year, in that case minimum bonus was 8.33% of the wages or salary, or rupees 100, whichever is higher. Clear? In maximum bonus, that was very simple. 20% of the salary or wages, that will be the maximum bonus for the employee. Now, what is allocable surplus? This I have already told you. We have to do 4 steps to calculate the allocable surplus. Number 1, we have to calculate the gross profit, right. In this gross profit, we have to deduct 4 items. That was the step 2. 4 items we have to deduct from gross profit, and what were those 4 items? Number 1, depreciation, number 2, development rebate, number 3, direct taxes, and number 4, there are certain items which are mentioned there in schedule 3. After deducting these 4 items from the gross profit, in step 3, what we will find out? We will find out the available surplus. Right. After getting the available surplus, Then I have told you how we will calculate the allocable surplus. If you remember, according to section 194 Companies Act, in any financial year, okay, companies other than the banking companies, those establishment who has made arrangement for dividends, the available surplus will be 67% of the allocable surplus will be the 67% of available surplus. And if establishment has not made any arrangement for dividend, then allocable surplus will be the 60% of available surplus. Is it clear? So, in this table I am talking about three things: allocable surplus, minimum bonus and maximum bonus, right. So, there was a condition, the minimum bonus an employer has to pay in any case, whether the establishment is running in profit or whether it is running in loss. So, in case of profit it is okay, right. If there is a profit in the organization, then it is okay, right. But in case of loss, if there is a loss in the organization or employer is having losses in certain year, then also he has to pay the minimum bonus. This brings the concept of set on and set off. Let us see. According to law, there is a provision to settle this loss which says, in case of loss, employer has to pay the bonus which can be compensated when there is a profit in coming 4 years. This brings the conception of set on and set off, right. If there is a loss in any year, in any particular year, in that case also employer has to pay the minimum bonus, but he can settle that loss in coming 4 years, in coming 4 years if there is a profit in the organization. For example, like just take the present year 2020. If in any establishment in 2020 there is a loss, but employer has to pay the minimum bonus. So, in coming 4 years, that is in year 24, 22, 23 and 24, these are the coming 4 years for year 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. If in these coming 4 years there is any kind of profit, that the loss which was happened in 2020, employer can settle that down. This is the meaning of this line, in coming 4 years. If there is a profit in coming 4 years, that loss can be compensated, right. So, let us continue the same table with some modification to understand the concept of set off and set on. Okay. You can see in this table I have add two columns actually. The first 3 columns are same. I have added 2 columns extra, 1 column for set off and 1 column for set on. Okay. So, the first condition where allocable surplus is less than minimum bonus, that means that is the situation of loss. In that situation, there is a set off situation for the organization. If we will see in the example which I have taken here, allocable surplus is rupees 60,000 and minimum bonus is rupees 1 lakh. So, there is a loss of 40,000 rupees. Okay. So, what we will say, there is a set off of rupees 40,000 because allocable surplus is less than minimum bonus. In the third row, you can see allocable surplus is more than maximum bonus. That means what? There is a profit. In that case, there is a set on in the organization, right. Take the example, if allocable surplus is 6 lakh and maximum bonus is 4 lakh, then there is a profit of 2 lakh. That is what? The set on of rupees 2 lakh, right. So, when set on and set off happens in any organization, when allocable surplus is less than minimum bonus, then there is a loss in the organization, that situation is known as set off situation in the organization. And when allocable surplus is more than maximum bonus, that situation is known as the set on situation for the organization. So I believe it is clear. Okay, the next thing is limit. There is a limit for set on, right? According to law, the limit for set on is equal to the maximum bonus. We cannot allot more amount than maximum bonus to the set on. What is this? Just have an example. If allocable surplus is 11 lakh, all right, and the maximum bonus is rupees 4 lakh. Allocable surplus is 11 lakh and maximum bonus is 4 lakh. What we will pay? We will pay maximum bonus, that is 4 lakh. What is the remaining balance? That is 7 lakh. But we will not put this 7 lakh to the set on amount. Why? Because it is by the law. The limit for set on should be equal to the maximum bonus. So here in this case, the set on will be not 7 lakh, but it is 4 lakh. Is it clear? The limit for set on must be equal to the maximum bonus, and it is according to the law. So with that, the bonus according to profitability is over. I will take one numerical over profitability bonus and I will explain each and every concept with the help of a numerical, but first I will take all the important provision of this bonus and then I will continue with the numerical part. So what is productivity bonus? Normally bonus is paid on salary basis, but if the employer wants to pay the bonus on the basis of individual employee, he can do this, right? Law has given this permission, but of course with two conditions. There are two conditions. As we have seen, an employer can pay bonus on two bases. One is your profitability base, second is your productivity base. In profitability basis, employer pay the bonus on the basis of salary or wages, right? Suppose there are two employees, employee A and employee B, having same job responsibilities, having same job profile and having same salary or wages. But employee A is very loyal, very punctual, very hardworking, and employee B on the contradictory, he is completely opposite, right? But because they are receiving the same amount of salary, so they will receive same amount of bonus also, right? But if an employer want, no, employee A is more good in comparison to employee B, I want to give more bonus to employee A in comparison to employee B, he can do this. Law has given permission for this, but there are two conditions which needs to be fulfilled. Your one condition is consent of low productive worker must be taken. Employer has to take permission from the worker who is low productive. If he is ready, he will receive the bonus on the basis of productivity, employer can do this. And minimum bonus must be paid in any case. That is so everywhere. You have to pay the minimum bonus in any situation. If these two conditions are fulfilled, employer can pay bonus on the basis of productivity. It is not like if any employee is there who is not working according to the employer's expectations or according to the job responsibilities he has been given, so you simply fire that employee. But keep on hiring that employee and saying he is not working, so I will not give him bonus, that is not possible, right? If you have hired someone and if you are paying salary or wages to him, you have to pay the bonus. So this is productivity bonus. With these two conditions, if these two conditions are fulfilled, then employer can provide bonus to their employees on the basis of their productivity. Okay. Okay, now there are certain deductions from bonus. What are these deductions? First of all, deduction means partial payment of bonus. When this happens, there are few conditions. When an employer is liable to deduct some amount from the statutory bonus. Number one, any festive bonus or voluntary bonus or interim bonus can be deducted from the compulsory bonus. If an employer has given any kind of festival bonus like any Diwali bonus or any Eid bonus or any Christmas bonus, if he has given that bonus in advance, so he can deduct that amount from the statutory bonus, okay, which is mandatory for the employer. He can deduct that amount. Second is, if any monetary loss caused by the worker's misconduct can be deducted from the compulsory bonus. If there is any monetary loss which is due to the employee, so that loss can be deducted from the statutory bonus, and employer is liable for that. If employee damage any employer's property, so that damage can be recovered from the statutory bonus. So these are certain deductions which an employer can make from the statutory bonus. He is liable for that. Okay. Now the next thing is the time limit and the mode of payment. First of all, I will discuss the mode of payment, that is bonus should be paid in cash. I mean, it is not like employer said, I'll give you a pick and drop facility, or I'll provide you free lunch coupons, or I'll give you some holiday packages. No, that will not come under bonus. Bonus should be paid in cash form only, right? Hardcore cash employer has to pay as bonus to his employees, right? So what is mode of payment of bonus? That is cash. Okay. Now the time limit, in which duration an employer is bound to pay the bonus to his employees. The first condition, in case of no dispute, right? In case of no dispute between employer and employee is pending in the court, the bonus must be paid within 8 months. Within 8 months from the end of the accounting year. If there is no dispute between the employer and the employee, then employer must pay the bonus within 8 months from the end of the any financial year. This is the first condition. The another condition is, in case of dispute, if there is a dispute between the employer and employee, and if it is pending in the court, then the bonus must be paid within 1 month of the court decision, right? So there are two conditions for time limit. First condition, if there is no dispute. Dispute means there are differences in opinion. If employer is saying something else regarding bonus, and if employee is saying something else about bonus, that means what? There are differences of opinion. That means there is a dispute. So the dispute is clear. So the first condition is what? If there is no dispute. There is no dispute between employer and employee. In that case, within 8 months from the end of the financial year, bonus must be paid. And the second condition is, if there is a dispute, between the employer and employee, in that case, the bonus must be paid within 1 month, 1 month of the court decision. The day on which court has given its decision, from that date to till 1 month, within that period of time, the bonus must be paid by the employer to his employee. So this is clear what is time limit and the mode of payment of bonus. Now, there are certain exempted establishment. I have already told you, because in these establishments there are certain other laws from the Indian constitutions which are applicable and having same kind of benefits. That's why the Payment of Bonus Act is not applicable in these establishments. So, what are these establishments? According to section 32, number 1, employees of LIC. Employees of LIC, here the Payment of Bonus Act is not applicable. Then employees defined under Merchant and Shipping Act. Those employees who are registered under the Merchant and Shipping Act, there also this act, the Payment of Bonus Act, is not applicable. Employees defined under Dock Workers Regulation and Employment Act, Central State Government employees, Indian Red Cross Society, university and educational institutions, hospitals, Chamber of Commerce. These are the establishments where this act is not applicable. Employee employed through contractor or building operations, employee employed by RBI, employees working in Industrial Financial Corporation under the State Financial Corporation Act, UTI, Development Bank of India and other financial institution in public sector notified by the central government. In all these establishment, this act, the Payment of Bonus Act, is not applicable. Social welfare institution, and in last, Inland Water Transport Corporation. So, these are certain establishment which are exempted establishment where the Payment of Bonus Act is not applicable. And why is it so? Because there are some other laws which are having same kind of benefits and these establishments are registered under those acts. That's why the Payment of Bonus Act is not applicable in these establishments. Okay. Now, the maintenance of registers. Under this act, the employer is liable to maintain certain kinds of register. He has to keep record of certain things and it is under the law. So, what are these registers? Let's see. Employer must maintain these registers under this act. The first one is, and it is known as Form A. Form A for allocable surplus. Each and every detail about allocable surplus. Allocable surplus, I have already explained what is allocable surplus. One more time you can just listen what is allocable surplus. First of all, we need to find out the gross profit, right? Step 1. Then in step 2, we have to deduct 4 items from the gross profit. Number 1, depreciations, number 2, development rebate, number 3, direct taxes, and number 4, some items which are mentioned in schedule 3. After deducting these 4 items from the gross profit, we will receive the available surplus, right? And according to section 194 Companies Act, in any financial year, companies other than the banking companies, the available surplus will be 67% of allocable surplus if establishment has not made any arrangement for dividend, and allocable surplus will be 60% of available surplus if establishment has made arrangement for dividend. So, after this calculation, company has made the arrangement for dividend or it has not made the arrangement for dividend, we will get the amount of allocable surplus. Every detail about allocable surplus in any particular year, we have to, an employer has to maintain a register about allocable surplus. Then the second register, that is form B, in which employer has to maintain each and every record related to set off and set on, right. In every year, employer has to maintain the detail about set on and set off. What is set on and set off? When allocable surplus is less than minimum bonus, that is the situation known as set off situation for the organization, and if allocable surplus is more than the maximum bonus, that is the situation of set on. So every detailing about set on or set off an employer has to maintain in form B. Then form C, this is the third register which an employer has to maintain, and it will contain bonus payable, paid and arrears. Every detail about bonus payable and paid and arrears, that should be maintained in form C. So these are the three registers which an employer has to maintain under this act. One more thing is there. Employer must file the annual return in form D, right, on or before 15th February, and uploaded on the website of Ministry of Labour, right. Like normally we file ITR. In the same way, employer has to file an annual return in the form D on or before 15th February of the year, and after filing this return, it should be uploaded also on the website of Ministry of Labour, right. So these are certain register which an employer maintain under this act. So I have discussed all the important provisions which are there in this act. In the next class, I will explain the concepts which I have already told you, the concept of amount payable as bonus, set on, set off, and how an employer settle these set on and set off in coming 4 years. I will explain all these concepts with the help of an example. So here, thank you.